weeks ago, 8 people began a life-changing course in reading, writing and numeracy. All 8 have bad memories of school.
I left school at 14, threw the school bag in the corner and never went back.
Today we're going to talk about school memories.
And the idea of working together again in a group is very difficult.
Well, I'm not going with your one.
Last week there was some friction between Stephen and Anne.
And I said to Anne, I'm not responsible for nobody here. She's a grown woman.
But they are both making progress with their learning and are determined to come back. 8 people from totally different backgrounds are taking a journey that could transform their lives forever. They are strangers coming together for 6 weekends for an intensive learning programme that will challenge them but promises significant rewards. Each of them will have to overcome the fears that have held them back all their lives or risk being written off. Coming up,
my hands shook, my head ached, I felt faint.
The students get advice from a famous author.
The essence of writing really, as I said before, is communication, and that really, really communicates.
They get creative writing a script led by tutors Bobby and Kathleen.
Brilliant!
Director, actor, learn your place, right?
And the difficulties of working together as a group become too much for Stephen.
You don't want to come back and have a go, Steve, no?
The students return to Moy Valley, County Kildare. Anne Ahern hopes this weekend will take her one step closer to her goal of writing down her childhood memories.
I'm looking forward to seeing them all. I think we all get on pretty good together. I think it's like one big happy family.
Having discovered only last year that he has dyslexia, Peter is working to improve his job prospects.
Weekend 3 and feeling all right. Hopefully it'll go better than last week now.
Peter's mother, Anne, is working towards reading a book with her youngest son, Corey.
Got my homework done and read about 2 pages of a book. Weekend 3, keep going.
55-year-old Stephen is beginning to overcome, for the first time in his life, his difficult school memories.
2 months ago I wouldn't tell nobody knew. Now I can stand up and tell the world. Totally different person than I was when I came here 3 weeks ago. Totally different person altogether.
The students are studying and living together, getting to know each other as they would their own families. Since the quarrel between Anne Ahern and Stephen last weekend, there will be a change of living arrangements.
I asked to be changed, and I wasn't going to come here this week over that person, but my wife said, don't let one person ruin it for you.
3 degrees.
As Stephen settles in with his 2 new companions, Anne moves in with 20-year-old Ifra.
Hi, honey. How are you?
I'm fine,
Yeah, I'm very happy now to be sharing with her now, I have to say. I find her very interesting, learning about her culture. She's such a sweet kid.
Welcome back. So think of something you'd like to write about now. Give me some ideas. And you mentioned your childhood memories. Maybe someone remembers going fishing one day. Something you remember that you want to write 4 lines about now.
I would be a very private person. I like to keep certain things to myself, about myself. Sometimes if you say, like, you're with other people, say, oh my God, you know, and then they start giving you sympathy, and then I don't kind of really like going down that road sometimes with people that I don't know them that well.
Married for 25 years, Anne lost her husband Patrick suddenly 4 years ago.
Patrick was my first love. We grew up together. We were together from I was 14 years of age. His right arm was my right arm, and to have that taken away from you so abruptly was just horrendous. I will always miss him, and I will never forget him.
Anne realises that she has not written down the story of her life for her daughters because of her difficulties with literacy.
My mother and father were from Northern Ireland, and they came to Dublin to live. My father took over the management of a castle. So we were born and reared in the grounds of a castle, Belgard Castle. It was pretty amazing. This is the front of the castle. Like, there was orchards and beautiful glass houses and fruit gardens, and it was really, really beautiful. Here to my left is where our tennis courts was. We used to come down and play tennis. That's where the milking sheds were. And just over here was a beautiful billiard room. Go on, put up your feathers. I'd like to get it all down on paper and pass it on like to my grandchildren. Maybe even just go and get it binded myself and have it really nicely done.
Mum was big into telling us about her childhood, and particularly I suppose because Nanny wasn't alive, that she had to teach us about her. It sounded absolutely amazing. Her childhood sounded brilliant.
They were just the best memories ever. Being with Dad and Mum up here, and we used to play rounders and basketball and netball, and you just felt so safe. So it just feels like kind of yesterday, really. You know, it's so fresh in my mind. It's amazing. It's really getting sad, oh God.
Here's the league table at the moment. And Trinder is number 1.
Well done.
And you had one prediction right, wasn't that right?
Back in Moy Valley, the group are preparing to predict this week's football results for their fantasy league.
So like last week, put in your name, write in your prediction. Some of them have asked when the class is over, what can they do in their house in their own time. So I'm very impressed to hear that they're really putting in the effort. So I'm hoping that the tension doesn't get in the way, and also that they do manage to gel as a group, as a whole as well, and move on from what happened last weekend.
This is part of your personal decision making, you know, because you're making the decisions here. So
for yourself.
For yourself, yeah, and hopefully to win.
There is a bit of an atmosphere, yeah. But it's only really between, I think, 2 or 3 people, there's a little bit of an atmosphere. And it's either going to come to the boil and boil over, or it's going to just stop now, do you know what I mean? One way or another.
To help the group gel better, counselling psychologist Stephen O'Neill is here to help them understand their differences and how groups work.
Conflict isn't necessarily a negative thing, it can actually be quite positive. You mean any group coming together will go through these stages, and then sometimes they'll go back through them. And that will be the forming, which you've started into. There'll be an element of storming, there'll be an element of norming, performing, and then mourning. There has been some storming, a little bit of conflict, a little bit of kind of people finding elbow room. If there's anything that they can develop out of this, it's a sense of empathy for each other, a sense of respect, and accept people as they are. And all the while remembering that they have a difficulty with literacy. And that's the common denominator.
What's the 3 words Irish people get hard to say?
Sorry, thank you, and...
Please, sorry, and thank you.
Yeah.
But then I don't
But
like
it's a big person to say sorry. It takes a bigger person. Like if you were out with me today and I didn't say sorry to you, but if you walked up to me and said sorry in half an hour's time, you're the bigger person because you said sorry to me.
Sometimes when you get into conflict with people, it's actually quite a good opportunity to learn about yourself and the other people.
Anne called me a while ago and I says I have to do something. But the next time Anne calls me, the best thing for me to do is just go over and say, let bygones be bygones, and just give her a hug and forget about everything and go forward. And I'll let you know if I do that, because it's a big step for me to do that. My wife would say, this is not the same man coming home.
All be ready to clap. It's a surprise.
Often working in groups in a learning context can prove stressful, but getting out of the classroom for a different activity should lighten the mood.
My name is Donald O'Farrell, so I'm going to be spending the next hour with you or so. And my job, I'm a stunt coordinator. So we're going to try out a few little scenarios here. If I pair you off into 2s, and I'm going to give you a little, pick a scenario, and something happens. So we'll incorporate into your dialogue maybe a punch, a slap. We'll work around something.
The stunt workshop, I suppose it's another activity outside the classroom where the guys, they really have to listen to instructions, which again we'll be picking up on.
It's also a good exercise for them in working as a group. You know, they're in their small little teams of 2 and 3 for that exercise. So they had to listen and work together.
We don't want everybody going mad.
However, before the class gets underway, an unexpected disagreement erupts between 2 students.
Okay. You don't want to come back and have a go, Steve, no? Okay. Will we keep going, folks?
Please.
Yeah? Okay.
Come on, now I'm going to phone my wife to get me out of here.
No, here, come here. Stephen, don't be listening to us, Stephen.
No, I don't care.
Stephen's out as well. Okay, that's 2 gone.
This time, Stephen's difficulty is not with Anna Hearn, but with Ifra.
I'm not having any more of it. If I have to walk out of here, I'm walking out. You know what I mean?
Hey, give me that bag. It's her bags.
No.
Yes, it is her bags. I was talking to Anne. I don't know, I was talking. And then he said, shut up. He said to me, shush. I told him, don't shush me. And that's the truth. I'm an adult. I can handle myself. And I don't need anybody to control me.
Now do it once more for me.
Aoife said, don't you shush me. And he said, you are so ignorant or rude or something. She said, you are so rude back. And he just bolted.
Okay, good, very good. Wrap that up, well done. You got into the parts, very good.
After some time out from the pressures of the group, Stephen returns. They take on a light-hearted task in the hope that everyone in the group will bond.
Okay guys, you're all very welcome this afternoon to 15 Famous Minutes. Andy Warhol once said everyone should have 15 minutes of fame in their lives. Today is your opportunity. What you're going to make is a 3-minute movie and a 1-minute ad. The teams are Stephen, Anne T, Anne A, Peter and Bobby. You are making Robin Hood the movie.
Who would you like to be?
Robin.
I would say you'd like to be Robin.
Oh, yeah, boy, yeah. Yeah, right, so hold on, right?
For Peter, this will be the second time this week that he has taken part in a performance.
We're doing Someone Loving in Greece. And I'm Danny.
Since leaving the army, Peter has returned to education at his local youth reach in Bettystown. Earlier in the week, he played the lead in their annual performance.
My mum and my little brother making me feel really, really nervous, so they're going to be really, really proud, so that's all that matters, like, if they're there and everybody else is, so it's cool.
Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me. Met a boy, he was me.
Set up for young people who leave school early and without qualifications, Peter has been attending Youth Reach for the last year.
Can you have a look at this word here? Introduction.
The Youth Reach is, I think, the only school that has helped me ever since I went to school. The rest of them just tried to push me more. Like, I can learn by when people show me instead of telling me. I can see it better than hear it, so it's pretty cool. More practical than listening and that. So.
It turned colder, that's where it ends. So I told her we'll still be friends.
I don't think if Peter hadn't been on the course that he would have gone for the lead in Greece, because he wouldn't have had the confidence. He's just flying ahead. He enjoyed it so much, so he did, and I thought he was absolutely fabulous. He was so funny, he was, because he kind of got the audience involved and made them laugh. So yeah, it was brilliant.